Finally, let's assess the scientific credibility of the scientists themselves. Assessing experts is a main core competency in science journalism. Experienced science journalists are experts in experts. Because disagreements can exist even among bona fide scientists based in respectable institutions and publishing in top-ranking science journals, science journalists continuously struggle to assess which experts are the most credible. Now, with the growing number of predatory scientific journals keen to publish anything that looks like a scientific paper, science journalists more than ever need expertise to sort out the good from the bad. And in the controversy around vaccines, it is particularly important to distinguish genuine institutions, genuine journals, and credible papers, and find out the real good experts. We will practice assessing experts using two papers that pretend finding a link between vaccines and autism. The first one is titled Pilot Comparative Study. We have seen it. It's been published in the Journal of Translational Science in April 2017. And the second paper, Vaccination and Health Outcomes, was published in November 2016 in Frontiers in Public Health. Both papers, we found out, are the same paper with minor modifications. And both papers have the same main author, Professor Anthony R. Mawson. Professor Mawson is with the Jackson State University in the state of Mississippi. Now, how would you assess the expertise and credibility of a scientist like Professor Mawson regarding vaccines? The website Retraction Watch did the job for us. They discovered that first, Professor Mawson wrote a letter in support of the now discredited work of notorious anti-vaccine researcher Andrew Wakefield. Andrew Wakefield is the author of this first flawed paper that linked vaccines with autism. And Professor Mawson was involved in a lawsuit because he wanted the state of Mississippi to do more studies on vaccine safety. But the most damning evidence is found simply by looking at the funders of his research. We find out organizations that we've already encountered, Generation Rescue, and the Children's Safety Medical Research Institute. There they are. And if you do further research, you will find more retracted papers confirming that Professor Mawson seems more motivated by a very committed anti-vaccine mindset. Now, how would you assess very rapidly a scientist? I would suggest you type his name in Google, in Wikipedia, or in Retraction Watch. Or you ask a scientist who works in the same field of work. Because with time and experience, a science journalist builds a list of contacts made of reliable experts and scientists. But if you want to assess the scientist by yourself, you can ask a number of questions. Where does this scientist work? Does his or her research has an agenda? Is the researcher in a conflict of interest? Might he or she benefit from the conclusions of the research? And look at the sources of funding. Donors with an agenda or recognized granting councils and foundations make a difference. And then where does this scientist publish? If you type the name of Anthony R. Mawson in Google Scholar, My Citations, for example, you will obtain a very impressive list of publications. Scrolling down, you will eventually find the article, Pilot Comparative Study. And according to Google Scholar, this article has been cited 5 times. But then you will discover that those who have cited the article are the likes of the World Mercury Project. Publisher Elsevier has created the database of scientists. It is called Scopus, and I invite you to go there and rank scientists that you know. You just follow the steps indicated in the slides, and you will see how scientists that you know are ranked in this most prestigious database of scientists. In the next module, we will look at controversial communities.